Hey family, this is Whittle 2K coming at you from the Coast to Coast podcast. We're doing this for Red Zone in the lab. Shout out to the Red Zone family. We're going to go over the AFC East All-Stars. And at quarterback, let's get going. You already know. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. It's Josh Allen, okay? We can move on from there. We already know what he's hitting for. At running back, I wanted to go with a couple of options here, but ultimately I went with Breece Hall. He's a monster off of a torn ACL. The kid comes in and he has almost 1,000 yards. I think he was top 5 in total yards from scrimmage, maybe top 10 in rushing. I mean, Breece Hall is an absolute monster. Next up, we're going to wide receiver. And wide receivers, we got a trio here. Number 1 player in the NFL is voted by the players, Tyreek Hill. At number 2, we're going to go not with his Robin, but we're going to go with the G5 over there in New York, over there in Jersey with the Jets, Garrett Wilson. And then at the third wide receiver, we're going to go with Jalen Whittle down there in Miami. At the offensive line, we're getting into the trenches now. Tackle, come on now. It's Tyron Smith. I mean, this man's a Hall of Famer as soon as he decides to hang up the cleats. We know what he's about. He's a big dog. He's one of the best in the league. Been one of the best for a very long time. And at the other spot, I was going to go Terron Armstead, but I got to go with availability here. Dion Dawkins, he had a really good year last year. He strung a couple of good years together, and he's always available. So I went with Dion Dawkins. Now, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit when I go to the guard spot, but you got to understand, the guard positions in the AFC East, they're not really that good. So I went with Elijah Vera Tucker. That's right, back up to Jersey, AVT at the guard spot, and we're going to follow him up with, at the other guard spot, with City Sal out there with the New England Patriots. And in that center, the man in the middle, I went with David Andrews. I couldn't win here with Aaron Brewer, but I'm sorry, guys. I watched the tape. I just don't believe in the guy. Maybe he can prove me wrong this season. We'll definitely see. On the other side of the ball, we're going to start in the trenches. At defensive end, Bradley Chubb. Absolute game record. He's out right now, but Miami's chomping at the bit to get him back. When he comes back, they're going to have a formidable front with him and his running mate Jalen Phillips, and then they got the guy in the middle that they love, Zach Sealer, filling in, hopefully putting up some big numbers in the absence of Christian Wilkins. Our guys in the middle for this AFC East All-Star group, we're gonna go with Quinton Williams. I kind of told myself there, didn't I? Quinton Williams in the middle, the man out of Alabama, the big dog, another staple of that Jets defense. And then to pair with him, I went with Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver had his best year last year, 9.5 sacks, super disruptive. I mean, he's got one of the highest win rates against double teams in the NFL, and he sees those double teams fairly often. We're gonna go with linebackers here. I know I harped on injuries, and I harped on being available. But I gotta give love to Matt Milano. Matt Milano's an absolute beast. I think he's the best linebacker in the division. All pro, just, whatever you need, whether it's coverage, run fit, you need somebody to take the ball away, you need somebody to make a big play, you need somebody to stabilize your defense. Matt Milano's that guy. And the other one, I'm pairing with him, I'm going to go with the brother of Quinton, Quincy Williams, who's making a big-time name for himself. Last year, first-team All-Pro, had a heck of a season. Some other options here definitely was Terrell Bernard, CJ Mosley. However, I went with Quinton and Matt Milano. The corners now. Obviously, we got to go with the boy Sauce Gardner, right? 2-time All-Pro, 6'3", almost 200 pounds. The guy can fly, he can run with the wind. He's got long arms. He's great in coverage. He's physical. He does all of those things. He gets away with a little bit of holding here and there, but we'll allow it. And on the opposite side, I thought about Jalen Ramsey here. I thought about Christian Gonzalez. I even thought about throwing the Jones guy up here. But ultimately, I had to go with Christian Benford, highest rated zone corner. in the division. He's one of the best young players that you don't know about. And at nickel corner, went with Taron Johnson, multiple time All-Pro. He's a top 3 nickel corner in this league. I mean, we gotta pay him the respect he deserves. At safety, Kyle Duggar, big dog out of New England. I thought we was gonna have a shot at him down there in Buffalo, but ultimately he went back home and he went back to stabilize that always impressive back half of that New England defense. And at the other safety, I mean, you already know who it is, man. It's Javon Hitstick Holland. He's a superstar, guys. Whenever he wants to turn it up, he can. He does his thing. He gets after the football. He gets after turnovers. Like, he does it all. He's a do it all type of guy. Kicker and punter. Nobody cares about the special teams guys, right? But we got to show a little bit of love to Greg the Leg Zerline and Thomas Morstead. Both those guys out of Jersey, from the Jets. And last year was Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle at quarterback. Those guys got a lot of run. Okay, they had a lot of practice last year. They had a lot of reps last year. I know that the Jets are hoping that those guys are wearing ball caps a lot more often this year with Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback. Kick returner to finish it off. We're going with Marcus Jones, New England Patriots. He's electric, guys. 5'8", plays corner. You can throw him on offense. I remember he had a touchdown against the Bills last year off of a screen pass. I mean, if you don't get to him, guys, he's gone. With this new kickoff return rule, I'm anxious to see what he looks like. And that'll do it, man. Shout out to Red Zone. Appreciate the platform, folks. Check us out at Coast to Coast Wednesday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. I'm sorry, not 7 to 9. We start at 9 p.m. and we end slightly after 10. But yeah, check us out. And shout out to Red Zone again. Shout out to the family. Much love. Peace.
What's up, man? It's your boy JMIK. I'm coming back to you again with my AFC East starters for the 2024 season. We're going to go over the offense, and we're going to go over the defense, and we're going to go over the special teams. So obviously we're going to start on offense at quarterback, and I have Josh Allen. Josh Allen's coming off a really good year last year. I mean, he's pretty much doing his normal 1-2 thing where he's accounted for over 40 touchdowns. And so I expect much of the same from him. At running back, I have Breece Hall. And Breece Hall's coming off a pretty good campaign last year. He was coming off an injury the previous year, and he played most of the season last year. And I anticipate big things from him again. At the wide receiver position, I have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Garrett Wilson. Tyreek Hill obviously is a no-brainer. I mean, he's essentially considered one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. People call Jalen Waddle one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league. And then Garrett Wilson, who was coming on his last couple of years, and I mean, this year he gets to play with a much better quarterback, and people are expecting big things from him. At the tight end position, I'm picking Dalton Kincaid. I'm expecting Dalton Kincaid, after his rookie campaign, to be a lot healthier and to have a breakout season. And I just think he's the best. He would be the best tight end in the division. At the O-line, at the left tackle, I have Tyron Smith, who's coming over from the Cowboys. At a left guard, I got Isaiah Wynn. I'm at the center, I got David Andrews. At the right guard, I have Osiris Torrance. And at the right tackle, I have Michael Owenu. And that pretty much shapes up my AFC East offense. And I'm going to go to the defense next. So at defense, we're going to start with the edges. I mean, at the 2 edges, I have Jalen Phillips and I have Hassan Reddick. Jalen coming off an injury. I mean, I'm hoping that he's healthy going this season, and so, I mean, he can really have a really good season. And Hassan Reddick is coming over from the Eagles. At the tackles, I have Ed Oliver, who had a superb season last year, and Quentin Williams, who has continually shined in that Jets defense. At linebackers, I have Matt Milano and I have CJ Mosley. To me, those are the 2 best linebackers in the division. And I expect CJ to have the kind of season he had last year. And Matt had already gotten hurt. But he's expected to be back in December. And I think when he comes back, he's going to make an impact on that Bills defense. At the corners, at left corner, I have Sauce Gardner, who in his first 2 seasons has garnered All-Pro accolades. And if he was to become All-Pro again this year, he would be, I think, one of the first guys to have an All-Pro in his first 3 seasons as a corner. I'm at the right corner. I'm gonna have my guy Christian Gonzalez. I think Christian Gonzalez is poised for a really good season, and I'm expecting big things out of him. At the safeties, I have Javon Holland and I have Jabril Peppers. That shapes out my AFC East defense. Special team wise, at kicker and punter. At kicker, I have Greg the Leg Zerline, and at punter, I have Bryce Barringer. So that rounds out my AFC East starting team for the 2024 season. And appreciate it. Thanks.